Hey guys, it's Caldy back here again with another one of my Walking Dead Season 4 reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing episode number 5 of this season, Internment. As always, please remember there are spoilers in the uh, runtime of this review, airtime of this review. So if you have not seen the episode yet, please click away now to one of my other videos or a review or just some other place on the internet or whatever you like to do. Um, but sorry about getting this out so late. I've had a lot of things going on in my life recently, school, my personal life, and just everything like that. Um, but anyway, let's get down to business with the review. Coming into this episode, last week we got the one-off episode, which has a very big impact on the group, with Carol being left behind, being left on her own. That was a big question because how would Daryl react? How would Tyrese react? How would others react? Um, we have the flu arc, which was why Rick and the other supply group, consisting of Daryl, Michonne, Bob, and Tyrese, were out to get more medicine and support the group. Basically, well, when it's on its when it's on no legs or one leg. Um, and then another question we had coming into the episode was, when will the governor pop up after he went incognito after after last season's finale. Sorry about that. Um, but let me just say, after all those questions aside, this was a very amazing episode. One of the best Walking Dead episodes I have seen. It was so emotional and intense. It was just everything you look for in a Walking Dead episode. It was suspenseful. It was probably one of the scariest Walking Dead episodes. Um, a few certain characters were in danger constantly and had to make tough decisions. Well, not tough decisions, but you know what I mean. Um, but uh, aside that, my mini review at the beginning, um, we get this is very much a Herschel centric episode. So he, after his decision to go into A block in episode 3 isolation, um, this is very much an episode of him protecting that block from what we got from the thing where he inspects over Dr. S. Um, and yeah, Herschel. It's basically Herschel's moment to shine. Episode 3, he shined, but this is like full on centric episode. There's Rick and Carl side plot that's a secondary to the main issue, but it's still pretty big considering Rick and Carl's development. So we have that whole thing. Uh, Two main characters that were sick in A block were Glenn and Sasha. Um, we got a wrap up of that, but I'll talk about that later. Glenn and Sasha sickness. They're obviously the two strongest members that are in A block. So they're obviously helping him out with one dude who was pretty messed up at the beginning of the episode. Great scenes with that. Uh, Basically, Sasha, later on, he tells everyone to close their cages because Herschel has to legit put a person down for the first time. He's had Glenn do it, but Glenn wasn't feeling well then, or Sasha, so he had to put someone down. But the person just crawled out of his key, or not out of his cell, and he just fell on the ground and died. And he doesn't want anyone to see what. He doesn't want to expose others to that, even if they will see it. He just wants to keep their morale high. He's trying to do everything to be a wise leader, like a one of the leaders deserving of being on the council. Since they're 2 members short, with 3 members short, or basically none of the council is able-bodied except um uh what is it, Herschel, and then Carol is MIA, and basically yeah, the council is pretty much ruined without the those like the two other members that were on it. Okay. Um, but who would take Carol's place uh on the council? Probably Maggie, because we get to see a lot of her this episode. But Herschel is doing everything he can to help people out. Um, but uh, quickly things get out of hand at the prison. Glenn is sick. He is trying to keep Henry up. Dr. S, they have that whole discussion that you see in the preview, where Dr. S thinks he's not going to make it, and yeah, he says there's no point a point where you can't come back from the flu. Uh, Basically, that whole thing occurred. Dr. S and Herschel, their relationship this episode, like their friendship, is probably one of the best parts of the episode. Like basically, what their interaction is basically what Herschel knows to be true, but he'd rather take his road instead of Caleb's road. Sorry, I call him Doctor S. Just as what he was referred to as. So I call him Doctor S. And plus, it's kind of weird to call him Caleb since I have a friend named Caleb. But beside that point, uh, Dr. S, as I'm going to refer to him, he was being wise. He had a gun inside of his cell with him, and he stopped using the IVs and said to give them to other people, basically. Well, the one walker that the one guy they were working on at the beginning of the episode, was one of the fence cleaners. Um, they really have it out for those fence cleaners. So many of them fence cleaners got killed through the first 5 episodes. Um, but anyway, he starts losing it, and Glenn, he starts to lose it too. After that scene, then downstairs, there's some more problems. Henry gets up. They're trying to keep Glenn conscious and basically get IVs for him. Lizzie, oh, we got really Herschel interesting development between Herschel and Lizzie. He's making Lizzie read now. Uh, but we have Dr. S. She's crazy. Lizzie's crazy. Um, uh, Basically, all this events happen in the prison, craziness ensues in the prison. Um, Basically, Herschel, one guy dies, or something like that. Or no, he goes up to this guy. He's checking on everybody, closing their prison cells and everything. Then this one guy has his son in the locker. He tells him he's not feeling well and whatever. He said, "I'm just gonna watch him in case he turns or whatever." And Herschel lets him go. Okay. But anyway, he just tells Herschel to go away or whatever. And basically, Herschel, uh, inside of the cell, his son was dead, and he comes out, and Herschel, one of the walkers that died, pummels on Herschel or whatever. Forget what happens, and then the kid bites into his dad's arm. The character's name is Norris, I believe. That's like the casting call type thing. But that guy dies, and then that crying mom from like the second episode, she comes out, tries to assist Herschel and everything. While she gets shot through the head by Norris because his gun goes off because his son bit him, and basically craziness is going on. A bunch of people are dying. Like that whole thing's going on. Well, I'm gonna call him Henry. That's what the character's name is called. The Walker with the orange hair. Um, Lizzie is trying to get him to come away from that all. So you have like 3 walkers downstairs. You have like I forget what else is going on, but it's craziness down there. Um, I was legit scared for Herschel this entire episode. Um, so we got everything going on. Uh, Sasha, oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, that one walker. Sorry about leaving something out. The thing about the Sasha was knocked out by the thing. There was another walker, or another person that died on the other side of the wall or whatever. well, that she died and got up and tackled Herschel basically, but Herschel survives. He doesn't get bit or anything. But I was legit scared for Herschel this whole episode. Um, basically, he has to deal with uh, that whole problem. He runs up the stairs, takes them into another room. He has the chance to kill them, but Lizzie and them are there. Um, so he locks them in a cell. Well, not locks them in a cell or something like that. Um, but he basically has to um, defend himself off in a room. He he has limited shotgun ammo this time. Call back to season 2. Um, but basically, uh, yeah. Um, he has to defend off against the 3 walkers that come in. He yells at Maggie to come through. While Maggie comes through, she gets like a rock. She can't come in through like the main entrance. She goes into the tombs and comes out that entrance. Um, and basically that whole thing occurs. Uh, yeah, she comes through. Um, in the middle of this craziness, he finds out Doctor S, locked in his cell, is dead, and he has to kill him, or not kill him, but put him down. And that's sad. Herschel Herschel stunts this episode. He does all his own stunts. Well, he's awesome this episode. The actor Scott Wilson, he does an awesome job this episode. He does all his own stunts. He throws the walker over the side of the uh over the side of the railing. The walker Henry that has the bag connected to him. They're trying to save him with IVs and everything. But basically, that happens. He saves Lizzie. Lizzie was trying to draw the walker away. Once again, Lizzie crazy. Um, Glenn is just coughing up blood. It's crazy. He's like 2 seconds away from dying this episode. But Herschel does save him, so everything's fine. But he's like literally 2 seconds away from dying. They get everything. They save him basically with antibiotics or whatever. Um, all while this is going on, Herschel, Lizzie, once they save Glenn, Lizzie like puts her foot in the blood and messes with it. Okay, that was strange. She's messed up. We could tell that from the moment her father died. Um, but that whole thing, while that all this is going on, Rick and Carl outside the gate. Basically they're holding up the gate with sticks. This wouldn't work, and the fence gives way. Um, basically, let me see. Um, okay. Um, basically, the fence gives way, and Rick and Carl run into the courtyard. Basically, with a plan, they get assault rifles and kill all the walkers that came through the fence, that flooded through the fence at that particular section. Um, basically, while that's going on, they gun down. They have a whole father son moment, like from the comics. That's like something that happened in the comics. But Carl seems much more mature than last season. Last season, I didn't like him particularly last season. Um, but this season he's much better. So basically we have all that going on. Um, and then after that, uh, basically after that the supply group returns. The supply group returns. They have the supplies and they administer them to Glenn. Bob Stuckey does it. Redemption for him. Well, semi-redemption. Uh, then we have um, Daryl. Uh, oh yeah, this whole thing about Carol. Um, the first person Rick tells is Maggie, and then he tells Herschel, who handles it. These two people handle it. Maggie responds she probably would have done the same thing. So that whole thing. Later, Daryl asks where Carol is to Herschel, and Herschel says, "Talk to Rick about it." So we don't know what's going to happen with that. And Daryl and Michonne have interaction with Herschel after learning of his prison stunts where he has to save them. He has to jump over the side and interact with a walker. I'm still shocked how he didn't die from the one scene where he flew over the side of the rail and then was wrestling with the walker to get the bag. And Maggie had to and Maggie, she must have aimed perfectly because I was for sure Herschel was gonna get in some shape or form hurt in that scene. He's moving around on that prosthetic leg. He must have grown his leg back or something. Grown back a semi-prosthetic leg. Probably no. um, and basically that whole thing happens. Tyrese goes to Sasha, finds out she's okay, and Tyrese is back to normal. Tyrese is probably gonna calm down from this, and maybe we can get Rick and Tyrese friendship. Um, what else do we have? Uh, Herschel helps Michonne and Daryl get rid of their dead bodies, basically burn them or bury them, whatever. Or no, that's the Walker body, so burn them. We have that whole thing. So, um, easy. Oh yeah, the emotional scene between Herschel and Dr. S. That's one of the most emotional episodes. Herschel's reading his Bible and he just starts tearing up when Dr. over Caleb, aka Dr. S. Anyway, that scene, that's Herschel's really emotional, really um, sad scene. Herschel is Herschel just went through a lot this episode. He pulled it all on him, and basically Daryl and Michonne tell him that he is strong. I'm not gonna say the words that they said exactly, but um, yeah, Michonne. No, never mind about that. I wasn't gonna talk about Michonne. Okay. Anything I passed out? No, not passed out, but forgot. I'm just gonna look through here. Oh yeah, Sasha was passed out due to dehydration. Um, Bumble. Well, Glenn was pumping the guy for air, and then he dies, and then Glenn choked on his own blood and everything like that. Glenn, that's how he almost died. Um, yeah, Lizzie. Lizzie was crazy. Female walker. Oh, everything like that. Basically don't need to tell you. Um, basically, okay, that's all we have. Basically, but no, we have another spoiler, a much bigger spoiler. So this one doesn't start off very big, but Rick and Carl decide to go gardening. They eat green peas, and then we zoom out to the gates, and we hear a thumping, a thumping, a thumping. This soundtrack, this episode is amazing. Then all we see is the back of the governor, and he turns to the side. The governor is back. And he was totally back for Spaghetti Tuesdays, now on Wednesdays. But that's beside the point. Um, Basically, the governor is back. That is the surprise ending from the thing. Was he stalking on them the whole time? Or was he stalking them the whole time? Was he the cause of certain events that occurred at the prison? I don't know. But that's all we're left with. Rest in peace, all the two unnamed prison survivors. I'm going by the Walking Dead wiki on people who died. Mr. Jacobson, who was the older uh, black dude at the beginning. We have the crying mother, who lost a friend, or whoever lost someone. And see episode 2, we have Norris, who is the guy who looked like a pretty strong survivor, but he didn't want to tell about his son. He looked pretty strong and could handle his own. Norris's son, of course. Henry, who is the walker that almost killed Lizzie and almost killed Herschel, had the bag that they were trying to keep alive at the beginning of the episode. And we have Caleb, Dr. S. Caleb, Sumerian. Okay, I can't pronounce that. Submarinian. I can't pronounce that. But let's see. We have 23 survivors left after this episode. So okay, that's basically all the facts I have. But getting down to the episode, the review of the episode, I just wanted to say this was an amazing episode. Definitely a 9.5 out of 10. Just everything about this episode was great. From the intensity, Herschel, the governor coming back. Well, not the governor coming back, but that was an added bonus. But in the music intensity of the episode, Herschel's performance, Scott Wilson's performance on this episode, Scott Wilson was amazing. Just all the characters came together to form an episode that is probably going to be one of the best, or one of top 3 best of this season. So far, Scott M. Gimple has done an amazing job this season. Definitely better than seasons 2 and 3 so far. I don't know if it can cap season 1, because season 1 was almost perfect. But basically, the great acting part, we have just suspense throughout. Suspense, just one of the most suspenseful Walking Dead episodes I've ever seen. Herschel was constantly in danger. I thought he was literally gonna die in a couple of scenes. Um, Maggie getting that connection with Herschel, becoming actually this season, her actually having a good part. She's actually done something this episode. This episode, she was actually a factor, only in my opinion. But you get to see a lot of great things about this episode. Just great, amazing qualities. Fantastic acting. I'm starting to be a little bit repetitive, but pacing was the pacing kept my heart beating every second. I was legitimately scared. I was screaming at my television. That's how good this episode got. But I should probably start wrapping up this review, since it's gone on for like about 25 minutes now. Um, but anyway, 9.5 out of 10, maybe 9.7 out of 10. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with 9.5. But overall, fantastic episode. Just you gotta love this episode. Amazing. Just a representation of what The Walking Dead has been like for me this season. And that's really all I need to say about the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, or I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe below, because I need your support. I can continue to do these. Um, and then follow me on Twitter at Aw3Oldie. Subscribe to my backup account, the JRP Returns. Like my Facebook page, even though there's not much there. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.